Hello everybody, this is Shady here, and today we have some pretty great news. So yesterday at Gamescom, Final Fantasy XVI's PC release was finally announced, and it's coming out the 17th of September, so not too long to wait. And what's pretty cool is, so you could buy the game separately on its own, just the base game, for £45 on Steam. Obviously it's available to pre-order now, and then it's 65 including the expansion, which is cool. That's about, I think it launched at 50 on PS5, might remember. I bought the deluxe edition myself, which was about 100. I also know that you can try out the demo now as well, which is really cool. And it's a really cool demo. You basically get to play the opening of the game, which is cool, and obviously it allows you to benchmark and see what sort of performance you're going to get before purchasing, which is awesome. Because obviously the game, at least at launch, had some issues on PS5, at least with its performance mode anyway. I think it's kind of been ironed out a bit more now, so I mean it's not too bad. I played it at launch and it was fine for me. You will get some drops here and there, obviously, but yeah, I'm sure obviously you can tweak things on PC. That's like the point of PC, isn't it? So but now I just kind of really want to convince you, or tell you why you should be excited and maybe want to pick the game up. So obviously, if you're not sure, Final Fantasy XVI, we play as Clive Redfield, or Redgrave, sorry, not Redfield. He's not attached to Resident Evil, he's essentially a prince who was kind of sold into slavery, and is kind of trying to like make a new life for himself, pretty much. So it starts off, you'll see in the demo anyway, we play as young Clive. I think he's 15 or so at the time. And then he's sort of like the shield or sword to his brother, Joshua, who's kind of the one in line for the throne, and who's going to take on the power of the Phoenix. So essentially, icons, which are the summons of this game, all the different kingdoms will have one, and they'll have the person who takes the power on. Almost, it kind of feels like if Game of Thrones and like Attack on Titan were combined, almost, in a way, where in Attack on Titan you have like people who have the Titan power and it's inherited, a little bit like that. And then it's like Game of Thrones because you have the different empires. And obviously we see basically in the early part of the demo, you'll see basically all the setup of what happens, which leads Clive to go into slavery. And then it skips 10 years, and then pretty much that's where the story, kind of the bulk of the story, starts. It's just a really solid game. And obviously what's great about it is it's kind of, they had the battle director of Final Fantasy XVI, of Devil May Cry 5, do the battle system for 16, so it has this kind of hack and slash combat sort of thing. It's not, for me personally, it's not Devil May Cry enough, but it's good enough as an action game. It's probably one of the best action RPGs in my opinion. And then obviously you have these like awesome icon battles, which were actually done by Platinum Games, which is awesome. And then the game itself was done by the team who did Final Fantasy XIV. So if you're a fan of Final Fantasy XIV, you'll really appreciate that. It feels very similar to that. So like a lot of the menu elements and the quest system feels very similar to 14 in a way, because how it will work is it's not a big open world, you'll have zones. So you go into a particular zone, which will be like a town, and you have a bunch of side quests you have to do. And then you'll basically, for the most part, you have to do a lot of these side quests. They're not really side quests, they're kind of things you have to do before progressing the story, and they kind of expand the world. It's one thing I really like. It was kind of a complaint for a lot of people, but for me it wasn't. Like, you kind of have to do these quests to help expand the world, and to get a bigger picture of it overall. You get a lot of cool little stories, and really paints a picture of the world of I can't remember the name of the world. It starts with a V, that's all I know. But yeah, it's just really cool, and it's an absolutely stunning game as well. Square Enix said they were considering making the game cross-gen, but they decided to just do PS5 only, and it really I think it really benefited the game a lot because it just allowed it to look so beautiful. Yeah, it's not just the raw fidelity, but the actual like art direction is amazing. Some of the areas, like, I had to just take pictures, go into photo mode and take tons of pictures when I played this game. It was just, that's how beautiful it is. Like I said, the battle system's really cool. Plays very much like kind of a God of War 2016, Devil May Cry, a little bit of The Witcher. But obviously, unlike that game, it's not an open world game. Like I said, it's a zone-based game. Think Final Fantasy 12 almost, kind of thing, but a little bit more small scale. And yeah, that's pretty much what we got. And then what I like is you'll have different weapons as well, which will work like Devil Arms and Devil May Cry, which is cool. Each one will have their own specific moveset and usefulness. Yeah, it's just really cool. You also have the kind of you have your rotation almost like 16 or like 14, sorry, where you'll have abilities that will have cooldowns and stuff. So there's a lot of like using your basic attacks and then your abilities you kind of have to kind of fuse together, and then you can switch between the different weapons, and it's just really cool. Once you like unlock the different weapons and abilities, it becomes really awesome and fun. And then the game also has kind of like an arcade mode where you can kind of refight bosses and stuff, which is awesome for high scores. And yeah, the story is just really good. And like my favorite aspect of it is the whole kind of dynamic between Clive and Jill, who's like the main love interest. They just have such a sweet kind of relationship, which I really like. And there's so many great moments between them. And then obviously, yeah, it's the story, like, even though it's kind of more of an action RPG, it feels very, like, the story itself feels very classic Final Fantasy. That's the thing I really like about it. It almost reminds me of Final Fantasy 9, where it was kind of that cross between the new and the old. Like, story-wise, this could easily fit in with, like, the first 6 Final Fantasy games. But then it just has these like, beautiful graphics and this kind of, and it just doesn't obviously have turn-based, it has action-based combat. But yeah, I think, you know, if you like Final Fantasy at all, if you like action games, if you just like great stories, I think you should definitely give this game a go. Like, pick it up. I think you'll have a great time. That's pretty much all I have to really say about the game. Like I said, like 17th of September, it will be available on PC. Just try out the demo, see what you think, see what sort of performance you can get. I'm sure you'll probably be able to play it on Steam Deck as well. I don't see why you can't at like low settings or whatever at 30. Like, I mean, 7 Remake was able to. I know that was a PS4 game, but it was kind of based on the PS5 version. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.